Welcome back, everybody, to NFL Head Coach 09. We are set to get into the 2014 season today with the Atlanta Falcons, and we're coming off what I think is one of our most exciting off seasons in the series. We ended up having a very fun first round, taking first round receiver Kevin Mosley from UCLA, and then trading up, giving a future first round pick so we could move up to take linebacker Jamar Sweely, who is still unsigned, currently holding out into the early stages of training camp. But I really like the team we have right now. I might have to make some more moves today just to make salary cap fit and everything, but I want to get into the year. I want to sim a couple games, maybe see some action today, and see if we can start to bounce back from last year's drop off to 6-10. Having 2 first round picks means that we have 2 very expensive contracts added to the roster. So when we drafted wide receiver Kevin Mosley, he was given a $44 million contract. I guess if you want to give low offers, you can risk holding out and try to get a better deal done later. I don't know much about how that works in this game, so I usually just try to get deals done sooner than later. And we have Mosley under contract. We also have an idea of what we have to do now to make the rest of the roster fit. We don't have a kicker and punter that I'm sure can be starters. We have 2 rookies on the team right now. We also probably need to address depth at a few other areas. We only have a handful of linebackers. Even if Sweely signs, we have 4 on the roster. We need more than that. So I think we're left in a situation right now where we still have to create some salary space if we want to get this season going. The easiest way to make salary is a tough decision, and that's going to be trading Darrelle Revis. That would save us $10 million and would allow us to do everything else that we want to do. I don't want to have to do that, but what other options do we have right now? Because all of these other players I think are going to be key for us and are going to be starters. I think it's the only move we can really make. I will add Darrelle Revis to the trade block and see what happens. I think that because we're getting stronger in so many other areas, we could handle maybe losing Revis. We added Vonnie Mendenhall to boost the offense. We're deeper at receiver thanks to drafting Kevin Mosley. Antonio Gates should be a nice addition. We have Matt Ream going into year 2 up at 93 overall now. And then defensively, I think that losing Revis will hurt, but we still have a lot of solid players there. And maybe I could find a deal that brings us back a lower rated corner in exchange, like an 80 overall that can immediately start, because we only have 3 corners on the roster right now. It feels like every position is so thin. How many players do we even have? I just counted 38. And some of those are training camp invites. Wow, we have a lot of work to do. Yeah, we have to trade Revis. It's a necessity now. I'll give it like a couple days to see if other teams give offers. But why don't we take a look at Sweely's deal now? This is going to be one of the most important decisions of the day. How much is this deal? Even saving $1 million a year, you know, that could mean being able to sign another player. So we only have 2 offers we're even able to give right now. All right, so pretty much identical deals, just different incentives, and I'm okay with either one really. So deal done now with Sweely at around $7 million a year. So goal achieved there. That's cool, but
what are we working on today?
Fixing this roster and also getting all these new players playbook knowledge as quick as possible. Sweely needs to get some knowledge. I wanted to see if I'd have the chance to work on Vonnie Mendenhall, just so he's ready to go, but not showing up here. So I've already put one of these into, I keep forgetting the receiver's name, but I put one into him and now one for Sweely. Less than a week to go until our first preseason game, so it's time to find a deal here to make and get some more players on the roster. we might be signing a lot of like veteran minimum deals, especially for backups. I'll probably give it until Tuesday to see if anybody gives us an offer for Revis, otherwise I'll have to find something myself. And this is a situation now where it's like, do you prioritize getting picks or players? I think maybe a starting caliber corner and a pick would be ideal there. And then we have to go to free agency for a lot of moves after that. Nobody's giving an offer yet, so I guess it's time to see if we can make a move. No teams are currently interested in trading for Darrelle Revis. Well, I have to make a move now. And that means I may have to just release him. Cap status is certainly alarming right now with just $1.2 million in space. So I think we have to clear that $10 million right now and can't do it with a trade. I have one more thing I'd like to try here. Maybe I can work out a trade this way. Devontae Stevens for Seattle has good man coverage and speed, and he is a 76 overall. I would like to make a move here possibly. This might be the one way I can trade Darrelle Revis. If I can do like a custom offer, or does it have to be like this? This is strange. Due to changing circumstances, no teams are currently interested in trading for Darrelle Revis. What are the changing circumstances? Like knowing we have to release him? Oh, okay. Here we go. Darrelle Revis will be released.
The Atlanta Falcons released one of their key players today in what appears to be a salary cap move. It'll be interesting to see which teams line up to sign a player of his caliber.
I'm not sure exactly how the game works, but if Schefter knew we had cap trouble, then other teams probably were able to get that information and use it. So maybe that's why we could not come to a deal, or no team wanted to even offer. So now, with that cap space, what can we do with it? We're making moves with 3 days until our very first game of the year, or first preseason game anyway. So we'll start at corner, because now we have a big role to fill. Wow, some of these speeds are down so much. You can't ignore this. We know Nick McLean. He'll know the playbook. So he's back. We'll add some depth here with Kovan Price, the 25-year-old from Oregon. He doesn't have great cover ratings here, but one of the better blends of both speed and awareness at 70. So he will be added to the team. And these smaller deals now are about $500,000, so it's a little bit easier fitting these contracts with the space now. It should be fairly easy. Kicker is still something to talk about, and I don't even know what to do because there's only one kicker here they're showing me ratings for. I don't know if we're gonna make any kicks this year. Do I have to trade for a kicker? Okay, there are like literally maybe 60 kickers on rosters right now. I'm just going to wait until week 1 to find our kicker. All right, to fill the special teams role, we're going to sign Ted Ginn to a 1-year deal. We're going to sign the best available blocking tight end, David Harvick, to be our 3rd. We are also going to sign 45-year-old defensive tackle Ted Washington, who has 95 power moves, 95 block shed, 87 awareness. 45 years old, 22 years in the NFL. Get ready for number 23. We'll bring back Manny Lawson. He did get some experience last year learning our playbook, so now we'll have another linebacker. Still have $7 million left to go, and that's going to be just fine for us. We're going to make this work. We'll bring in another safety here with some solid cover skills, 26-year-old Taiwan Hayward from Michigan State. And we'll bring in cornerback Tim Jennings as well. Whatever happened with Revis, by the way? Did somebody sign him like immediately? Because now I'm wondering what his demand would be, but he's not even available. So where's Revis at? Literally the second best player in the league. He's still a free agent, it says. Maybe the next day will be different? Alright, so we just simmed a day. I would like it to slow down so I can find free agency again. I'm not ready to play yet. Somebody had to have signed him by now. A couple days have simmed. Or wait a minute. He's back! How does that work? From 10 million to 3. And Revis won't be leaving after all. Okay then. That doesn't really make any sense. We were able to save the money and keep Revis. He comes back, trying to help us get to the postseason. Welcome back. By the way, let's check out Ted Washington's stats here. Playing that long, but he hasn't played now in like 3 years. But he was still in the free agent pool. Did he come out of retirement? It doesn't even have all of his stats. He's supposed to have 756 tackles. We only see a little over 100 worth here on the career stats. So we're missing some information. So after all that, it looks like the team is ready to play. And if we still have to make some moves, we have a few $1 million left over in space. Cap space is in danger though, but it's working right now. We're under the salary cap. Now to see how preseason goes. Preseason will open against the Kansas City Chiefs, and I think we tied. It doesn't show a win or loss, but we won. Very confusing. So, in this game, Delwin Wilcox throws 3 touchdowns. Howard Miller throws 1. We played really well on offense. All 3 quarterbacks with combined solid numbers. On the ground, Kemba Clayton giving us 96 and a score. He'll be the RB2 now behind the veteran Vonnie Mendenhall, the big free agent addition. Whoa, Kevin Mosley, 8 for 146 and 2. Can't wait to see what he can do as a rookie. He's helping replace Roddy White. 3 sacks for the defense, an interception. That is a really solid victory. Why was Adrian Brockers trying field goals, though? He missed a few extra points. There is an injury alert now for defensive tackle Ted Washington, and he has broken his arm, and he is out now the rest of the preseason. Coming off the impressive preseason debut, we end up losing our second game, but so many goals are being completed, so approval is up to 92. We lose 17-16. Delwin Wilcox throws for 2 more touchdowns, having a really nice preseason. A $169 throwing in this game. Not much here in terms of running success. Receiving, Ted Ginn got a chance. He scored and had 97 yards. Tyshawn Daniels also scored. For the defense, 2 sacks here for Dibbles and Brockers. Both are the backup edge rushers. And then interceptions for Jennings, Jamar Sweely, and Jared Ballard. I also noticed here that the new right guard, Jared Putnam, allowed 2 sacks. We'll see how he does now getting his first starting opportunities. Our third game is a loss to Tampa Bay. And this time Howard Miller had a touchdown, and less success now from Delwin Wilcox. He also didn't play as much. Matt Ream passed the ball 23 times, 12 completions. Not a great day. Running game continues to struggle. Douglas had 96 yards receiving in this one. And defensively, 1 sack now for Dibbles. And a pick, Darrelle Revis. Our final game of the preseason is a win against the Packers. Matt Ream, preparing for the regular season, throws 3 touchdowns, has a really solid day, 250 yards on 21 attempts. Still, we haven't been able to run the football well in the preseason. I'm a little bit worried about that. But I think with all our passing talent and the steps Matt Ream can take, the offense has a chance to be pretty good. Demario Waddle had 2 picks. So that brings an end to the preseason then. One look here at the overall stats. The passing game performed really well, so I think that will hopefully carry over into the regular season. Only 1 pick in 4 games by all quarterbacks. The running game, we'll have to see. Clayton's average ends up being pretty well because he had 1 big game. Mendenhall at 2.8 a carry. And then receiving, Kevin Mosley, fast start. Let's see if that happens in the regular season. And then for the defense, a fair amount of turnovers in these 4 games. We had some good pass rush as well. Kenneth Dibbles in his 2nd year, he's our 3rd edge rusher, but he might be making his case to start getting some more snaps. Kicking, well, Mac Walsh, 5 of 6, and then 3 of 3 on extra points. But still, I think we have to find some kickers and punters with better ratings. We are going to be signing Johnny Barksdale at kicker. He has 91 kick power, 82 accuracy with 69 awareness. And we're probably going to stick with Bryant Robinson at punter. He has 72 overall, 79 potential, and solid accuracy even if his kick power is low. And there aren't really any great free agent options right now anyway. So I think this team is ready for the real season to begin. Injury alert. Slot corner Jason Hendricks, 5 to 6 weeks with a severe pulled hamstring. Looks like Nick McLean is going to take over his role. Week 1 is up next, and we take on the Philadelphia Eagles. I want to get into the beginning of the season today and do more simulating than I normally do, just to get an idea of where this team is at. I don't want to just play week 1 and go the slow route that we normally do in a new year. I want to get through a few games. We just went through one of the strangest off seasons, but also one of the most aggressive we've had in the series, adding some key playmakers, both veterans and rookies, all trying to get this team back to the postseason, ready to compete for a title. We have Matt Ream in his 2nd year. How will things go for this year's Atlanta Falcons? We'll get into week 1 with a little super sim just to see exactly how this plays out. Very excited to see what Matt Ream can do in his 2nd year. I think it's going to be a lot better. His 2nd half of the year was better than his first as a rookie. On our first drive, we do get across midfield, looks like a couple first downs, but then we stall, pinning Philly at their 5 as they'll open. Looks like they brought in Reggie Bush, and they go 3 and out. We'll take over with the short field, get Vonnie Mendenhall going. Ream takes a sack, we get to 3rd and long, and stall, and don't attempt the 55-yard field goal. We keep Philadelphia deep in their own territory. McNabb takes a sack, 2nd already, and then Deshaun Jackson gets 21 yards. Philly finally gets out of the shadow of their own goalposts, and now a face mask on Jamar Sweely is going to help the Eagles get all the way to our 30-yard line. Then it's Reggie Brown for 13. They get in the red zone and stall. Try it again here. 21 to Antonio Gates. 16 for Vonnie Mendenhall. And then 9 to Harvick. Falcons get their first touchdown of the season. It's Matt Ream to Harry Douglas, the new number 1 receiver. Philadelphia getting good field position this time. Must have had a solid kick return. And they end up missing a 41-yard field goal. There's a penalty giving us a boost on this new possession. Mendenhall seems to be getting some solid carries here. At least we're getting something, very few negative plays. Unfortunately, 3 straight incompletions followed up by a 35-yard miss. So, getting points in this series remains a challenge. The field goals are especially frustrating. We get the ball back here late first half. And on 3rd and 7, Ream's pass is deflected. Still just a 7-3 game as we sim ahead. Jackson for 25. Good chance here for Philadelphia in the red zone. And it's goal to go. Touchdown, Philadelphia. We might not be done, though. First half winding down, and a buzzer-beating touchdown. Ream to Daniels. That's how the first half ends. Really happy to see what Tyshawn Daniels did in the last season. I think he's going to be able to help replace Roddy White. We're still pretty deep at receiver, so I feel good about that spot. Defense, meanwhile, giving up some yardage here, but playing tough in the red zone. Maybe we'll watch some of this fourth quarter. Looks like it's going to be close, but the Eagles are starting to move the football pretty well. We get 17 to Douglas, 14 to Daniels. We're getting some big gains, especially on this possession. Into the red zone, another 10-yarder, and a touchdown for Kemba Clayton extends our lead. We've sacked Donovan McNabb a few times today and given up a lot of yardage to Deshaun Jackson. Intercepted, though, by Darrelle Revis. Thrown at 7 times, only allowed 2 catches. He has a pick, and the Falcons maintain an 8-point advantage going into the fourth quarter. Kemba Clayton gets a first down. He's getting a lot of carries. Got to be worried about Mendenhall, who immediately is back in the game. Took some time on that drive, but ultimately had to punt. Let's see, Philadelphia, offensive pass interference. 3rd and 11, they get 26. Maybe we watch and coach the rest of this one now. So far, it seems like we're playing pretty well, but can we hold now? Crunch time in week 1. Battle of the Birds continues. Philadelphia trying to go and tie the game. They trail by 8. At our 42-yard line, it's Donovan McNabb. No pressure. Out of the backfield now. Good open field stop against Reggie Bush. They'll run this now, and there's room outside. Reggie Bush across the 30-yard line. First down. Trying to send pressure now, and McNabb off his back foot goes over the top, and that is deflected. Looks like the receiver had a good chance to make the play, but solid defense. We can test. 3:32 left to play now. Philly needs the touchdown plus a conversion. Off the play fake. I don't know what happened there. Incomplete. Split backfield now for the Eagles. 4-man rush, and the pass goes outside, and it's dropped. Revis didn't even see the pass get thrown, but still it's incomplete. Now it's 4th down. Interesting choice here. Philadelphia electing to just kick the field goal. 46-yard try. Right down the middle. So, a bit surprised they didn't go for it there. 21-16. Still 3 minutes to get the football back. Well, a 5-point advantage for Atlanta. Let's see if we can close this out now. Vonnie Mendenhall, the new free agent pickup at running back. I want to see what he can do. Mendenhall wears number 33. He's the lone back on 1st and 10. And Mendenhall runs into a pair of Eagle defenders, no gain. Fullback on the field, just one receiver. It'll be Mendenhall again. Brought down, he lost the football in the process. And the Falcons keep possession, but it's 3rd and a mile. We need 14 yards here. How do we try and get them? Here we go. Waddle, slant.
Okay, we're passing.
What can Matt Ream do? We spread out the defense. Ted Ginn checks into the football game. And Ream has time. He fires over the middle, and the catch is made. It's Ted Ginn.
Today, baby.
He's got the first down, and Atlanta continues to run clock. Well, Philly used the timeout, so Now they'll have to use a couple more. Now the main thing is trying to get some yardage here and not just get hit in the backfield all the time. And we'll try the stretch now. Mendenhall brought down.
Run the counter.
I'm running like very different plays here. I'm trying everything we got. This time it's a counter. Couldn't be much worse than some of these other plays. So a couple linemen pulling around and Mendenhall finding some space. Will Philadelphia use that timeout? Not yet. Third down again. This could seal it right here. We could win the ball game. Ted Ginn slot right. And we are somehow getting the snap off. And the pass again is incomplete. Ted Ginn was open. The hit jarred it free. And Philly's getting one more chance to get the touchdown. And I am not going for it. A minute to play in the football game. Philly can stop the clock one time. Nice punt coverage. 67 yards to go. Philly will open with 2 running backs on the field. And we'll bring 4. Probably not too much blitzing on this drive. McNabb is flushed and he's taken down. That looks to be at least no gain. No way. Face mask. Torrance Gill had the sack. And now it's a 15-yard play that stops the clock. I'd like to remind everybody who this team is. This is the Atlanta Falcons, who currently hold a fourth-quarter lead. Do we know what happens in these situations at times? McNabb has a wide-open man. And Philadelphia now 44 yards away. We're just playing 2-man under. Nothing fancy here with the play calls. Just safety help, no big plays. Philly's taking their time here, probably setting up for a spike or a fake spike. And the check down, staying in bounds. Risky. 30 seconds to go now, clock running. Still 1 timeout left. And I don't think they're going to a spike. Oh, late audible here.
Just outside range now.
Now they use the timeout. 37 yards away, but now Philly can't stop the clock. McNabb fires, and it's intercepted! Kerry Rhodes the other way! McNabb makes the tackle, but that's going to seal it. The Atlanta Falcons will open the year 1-0, doing some things really well in this game. We were able to avoid turnovers, play good red zone defense, and we didn't allow a lot of points. Good way to start the season. The Falcons are victorious, and Matt Ream has an interception-free game. He threw 2 touchdowns in the process, completed 58% of his passes. I didn't like the running game in the preseason, but we really stuck with it in this game, and while we could have done a little bit better, we'll take this. A $118 for Vonnie Mendenhall, 22 and the touchdown for Kemba Clayton. Better than we've seen for much of the series. Tyshawn Daniels continues his ascent, 8 catches, a $142 and a touchdown. Ted Ginn had a very key catch in this game. And the defense, 3 sacks, Tribble, Wilkes, Torrance Gill, and 2 interceptions. Good team victory. Plenty of positives to take away from our first game of the year, but now, the defending Super Bowl champion Chicago Bears, who have been one of the best teams in this entire series. The Bears simply do not lose all that much. 74-17 in this series. Those are like college football win-loss numbers. Gary Hammermill coming off a Super Bowl win as a head coach, the first time in his career. If we want to win the NFC, this is the best team in our way.
The Bears told me they've been working on a game plan that focuses on confusing the quarterback. By showing different looks in the secondary, They feel they'll slow the quarterback down just enough to get to him. The Atlanta Falcons finished today's practice on a high note, implementing the final pieces of their game plan. I spoke to their coaching staff this evening, and it told me that the team is prepared and ready for this weekend.
So Chicago's goal is to confuse Matt Ream. Well, we'll see. If in his second year Matt Ream can make the strides as a franchise quarterback, this game will be the ultimate test. Against the Chicago Bears, we do lose our first game of the season by a score of 30-26, a higher scoring game with Ream throwing 1 interception, 1 touchdown, 349 yards. So that production in the air has carried over from the preseason. Vonnie Mendenhall, 20, 83, and 2. Very happy with the rushing numbers. Receiving, Tyshawn Daniels, again into triple digits here at yardage. He scored a touchdown as well. A lot to like there. Defensively, the Bears obviously put up 30 points. We ended up getting 2 interceptions, Sweely and Revis. And we didn't miss any field goals in this game. Missed an extra point, but that wouldn't have made the total difference. The Bears had a big passing day from Ken Dorsey, 373 yards, 2 scores, 2 picks. And on the ground, not a ton here for Adrian Joseph, but they passed the ball pretty well and put up big points. So we fought hard against the best the NFC has. If we're going to lose, I guess, that's not the worst loss to get. But now can we bounce back? All right, game 3 now. Do we go 2-1 or 1-2? Last year, the division came down to us and Tampa Bay. It might be the same this year. First meeting now of this season, and it's a Falcons loss. This was a big rivalry game for us, and we come up short, 38-35. So right now, the offense is not the problem. The last 2 games, the defense is. Matt Ream puts up one of the best stat lines the series has seen from a Falcon quarterback. 336 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. And we still lose. We didn't run the ball great, didn't really have to. We still moved the ball on offense. Top 3 receivers all over 90 yards with a touchdown. But what's going on now with the defense? I didn't think we'd have to worry about them this much. Tampa with Ballard at quarterback, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Not really much here in the passing game. The running game, though, 4 touchdowns for Ahmad Bradshaw. So the lack of yardage here and just the high touchdown count tells you this was probably just a red zone failure game. Couldn't force field goals. Tampa just constantly found the end zone. Don't know much more to the story, but based on the stats, couldn't get off the field. 1 punt, a bunch of red zone rushing touchdowns. Just a rough game. 2 in a row now for the Falcons. But the offense, I think, was our main concern. And with that playing well, hopefully the defense comes around while the offense keeps playing really well. I say we sim 1 more game today. The first quarter of the season. A rainy day in Detroit. Week 4, Falcons and the Lions. I still feel pretty positive about our team even after losing these 2 games. The defense usually, when you have a whole season sample size, plays pretty well. But with the offense taking things to a new level, I think we still can be very good. But I really don't want to start the year 1-3. The Falcons are back in the win column now, 2-2 to start the season. We beat Detroit 34-21. We're putting up a lot of points so far. This is unlike the Falcons team from earlier in the series. We're actually scoring. So far, Vonnie Mendenhall's put up some good numbers. We have a Harry Douglas going over 100, Tyshawn Daniels. He's going to put up a lot of stats this year. He is going to put up some big numbers if this keeps up. So that's a 2-score win for us, putting us at 2-2 on the year. So 4 games in, Matt Ream, 9 touchdowns and 3 picks. Much better than what we saw a year ago where he threw a lot of interceptions, really, it seems, every game. So far, a 3-to-1 ratio. On the ground, Vonnie Mendenhall, 3.6 yards a carry. 3 fumbles is a bit concerning, but this is a step up from what we've seen in the past. 4 touchdowns as well. Receiving, Tyshawn Daniels is averaging over 100 yards a game and leads the team in touchdown catches at the same time. We have been getting some turnovers. That's positive, but it still seems like the defense is kind of the weak point on the team. Looking at early season league leaders, thankfully Matt Ream isn't towards the top in interceptions. When it comes to yardage, he is 4th. When it comes to rushing, Vonnie Mendenhall, he's in 4th. And receiving, Braylon Edwards is number 1. Tyshawn Daniels, he is number 3, ahead of who he is replacing, Roddy White, who is now on the Lions. How did he play in his game against us? Well, 2 touchdowns, 6 catches, a $118. So Roddy White still playing pretty well, now in Detroit. But we've started this season well. Our salary cap situation was a mess. I think to be in this spot, offense doing well, Ream playing well, we're set up, I think, for a big season. Next episode, we try to see if that can come to fruition as we take on the New Orleans Saints and get into the middle of this schedule. But that is going to do it for this episode, everybody. One last look here at the standings before I wrap this one up. We're in great shape right now. Nobody is doing all that great at the moment. Maybe New Orleans plays this Monday night game or something, or they have a bye week. I don't know. But that's going to do it for this one, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the episode. I think there are going to be a lot of interesting things to come for this Atlanta Falcons team. So please leave a like and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for notifications if you want to know when the next episode is posted. And I will see you all next time. Have a great day.